My name's Rob Fountain. I'm from an organisation called Stepping Out. We're an organisation that helps councils to set up social enterprises. So the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about social value. So what I hope to do is give you a bit of an example of what social value means, talk a little bit about how some other social enterprises who have set up from councils and the NHS have looked at social value, and then to get you to think about, well, what's the social value that's really important to you? What are the social outcomes that you really want this social enterprise to deliver? What's the way that you want to see this social enterprise act to pick up on all the things that you've said are important? So we're talking about the social enterprise. You've heard a lot about what that is. And just to kind of recap on what I'm sure you've talked about and heard before, we're talking here about a business, but a business with a very clear social purpose. And the social enterprise mark that's up here sums it up really succinctly in trading for people and planet. So we're talking about a business, so it's going to trade, but it does so thinking about the impact that it has on people and the environment around it. And that means that this social enterprise that you're going to set up, the social enterprise partnership, is going to have two goals. It needs to deliver a really good service, so it gets a contract and it stays in business. But in the way that it operates, it also thinks about what else does it do? What social value can it bring? What extra difference can it make socially? Because that's what you can do. The reason that the council is thinking about a social enterprise partnership and looking at this as the way forward is because it believes that a social enterprise can really make a difference. That as well as delivering the services really, really well, it can do more, it can deliver extra, and it can bring back some additional social value. So if you're looking for a definition, we're saying that social value is about making the most difference, so trying to think what are the options that we've got that bring the most change, the most difference, using public money, so we're using the council's money behind this, so we need to make sure that we're using that well and we're getting good value for money, to get the best possible outcomes. So we're looking at what difference all of this activity does for the community, and it's the whole community. It's not just individuals within it, it's the whole community. So that's what we're talking about with social value. Thinking about it another way, as the council's thinking about how it's going to use the social enterprise to deliver services, what we're thinking about is what extras can the council get from using the social enterprise to deliver those services? Will it pay and just get the services as they look like now? Or can it also get some extras, some extra things that it can shout about, some extra things that will come out of the way that that service is delivered that's even more, getting even more from the money that's available? Now the law, so the people in government have said that councils everywhere need to think about not just going for the cheapest option available to provide services, but the option that delivers the best return for a local area. It needs to think about buying services that are not only good value, but also make a difference economically, socially to the environment. What that means is that it makes a difference to the local area. Now I'm going to talk about three ways that social value can come out of something like the social enterprise partnership. So the first way that you can get extra social value is in the way that a service is delivered. So I've given here an example of an advocacy service. So a council could get an advocacy service from an organisation that delivers an advocacy service. That's what it gets. It could get, like it does in Somerset, an advocacy service that also actively employs disabled people in how that service is delivered. In both situations, the council gets the service that it's buying, but in that second option, it gets this additional social value. It gets something extra, which is proper jobs for marginalised people in the running of a service. That's what another social enterprise that's set up out of the public sector in North East Links has done. So Naviga is an entity that delivers mental health services in North East Lincolnshire. Used to be part of the Mental Health Trust, used to be part of the public sector, is now a separate social enterprise. One of the bits of work that Naviga has to do is to run an employment support service for people with mental health problems. And it does that through a service called Tukes. Now the value add that Tukes offers is that across Naviga, there were lots of jobs in running the reception, running a shop, delivering catering. And what Tukes says is, we're not going to pay another company to do all of those things for Naviga. We'll fill those jobs with people with mental health issues that come through Tukes. So it's able to use the way that it's set up, the way that it runs, to not only deliver the service, helping people into jobs, but giving them actual opportunities to do that within the organisation itself. So the way the organisation is set up is giving even more back. Another way that social value can come through the social enterprise partnership is what does the organisation do with any extra money that it makes? We're talking about setting up a business, and that business has to make money. It has to make more money than it spends, otherwise it's not going to be around for very long. But what's important is, well, what does your organisation do with any extra money that it's got? In a private company, a normal company that you might see on the high street, any extra money that comes in goes into the pockets of the people that own that company, and that money goes away and someone goes and buys a nice sports car. In a social enterprise, we don't talk about you making a profit, but you might have a surplus. There might be more money left over, so you've got extra money around. And what you can do with that is do more good. You can choose to put that money back into the system and to deliver more services. And it continues that extra value coming from that same amount of money. So another example, another organisation that used to be part of the local authority and the NHS is Care Plus Trust. Care Plus Trust is a big provider of health and social care services up in the North East, and it's got a contract and it runs lots of services that the council's asked it to deliver. But what they've also done is set up a charity. They set up a charity called Care for All, and what Care Trust Plus does is any money that it's got left over, it puts into Care for All. And Care for All then runs extra services that the council can't pay for. The council can't run itself anymore. But because there's the way that the main contract's delivered, there's some money left over, it's diverted into this charity, which can go off and raise its own money as well, and it can provide those extra services that are above and beyond what the core contract is. So by working in a way that's efficient, by generating more money so being able to deliver services in a way that's cheaper than the council's asking to commission, there's money left over, and instead of that going off to someone else to go and buy whatever they want to buy, it's back in the system and is given out in a charity that runs a number of services, like it runs some extra day services, it runs Friends for All, so it runs an opportunity for people to socialise and have opportunities to meet other people and build relationships with each other. It runs a number of social enterprises that give people real opportunities to run jobs. So it's using that extra money, the fact that it's a social enterprise and that money doesn't disappear, to give extra back, to do even more. The third way is just to do more things, to decide as an organisation, to decide as a social enterprise that you want to do more than just the things that the council says you have to do. A good example of that is an organisation called Provide. Provide used to be part of NHS Essex, and it's now a large provider of health and social care that's set up as a social enterprise. Again, it's got a big contract that says you must deliver this, this, this and this, and it does that, and it does that very well. What Provide have also said is, well, we want to do a bit more than that. We want to do some extra stuff. We want to provide some extra value to our local area. So it's signed up for the living wage for all staff. So it says anyone that works for Provide should not just get the minimum wage, it should get the living wage, because we want to be an employer in our local area that does the best for the people that live here and work here. It also makes grants out to local good causes, so people can apply to Provide to get some small grants, so it supports other small charities in the way that it's got some of its surplus money. And what it also does is say there are some particular things that are really important to the people that we support, and they work with lots of older people where falls are really important. Lots of complications from people having falls and trips and falls at home and breaking hips. And so what they do is, as well as providing their support to people who have had falls, is actually put on events that they choose to put on to be able to let people know more about, well, how do you stop this happening in the first place? So the NHS isn't saying you must go and run these events. Provide is saying this would be something that's really useful to do. We want to do more than we have to do. We're going to add some extra value from the money that we get from the NHS. So what does this mean for now? What does this mean for where you are as a group thinking about setting up your social enterprise partnership? Well, the council in all of this has got to be thinking not only about the services it wants the social enterprise to deliver, but it has to think about, well, what extra social value would it really like to see? What extra things does it think would really make a difference? And the council will do that by thinking about what's important in Somerset, what priorities has the council got, what challenges has it got, what do local people need? And it will think about extra things it would like to see come out of this setting up of a social enterprise partnership. But it's also about you as the people who are shaping what this social enterprise partnership looks like. You've got a chance to think differently about, well, what social value would make a difference to you? What social enterprise, what social difference do you think the social enterprise should be trying to achieve? But you've then got to tell the council about it. You've got to tell the council what you think is important and also what you think this social enterprise is going to be able to deliver. And there's two key questions that we want to look at. One is generally, how do you think the social enterprise partnership should behave to prove that it's got this social purpose that we talk about, to prove that it's about people before profit? How would this social enterprise partnership act and work and behave and function to prove that it is a proper organisation with a social purpose? What extra stuff do you think the social enterprise partnership should be looking to do? What do you think the social enterprise could do in the way that it operates going forward? About what it does with any surplus that it's got, any extra money, what's it going to do with that? And what extra things do you think that the social enterprise should aspire to be able to deliver to be giving more back?